Hello, everyone. I am Butterfly Roz, also known as CWA, Christian with an Attitude, also known as OG Roz and the Butterfly. So I hope you're having a good evening, morning, night, wherever you are so far. I will be attempting to cover the Keefe D trial. The trial remains scheduled for Monday, August the 10th, 2026, with jury selection opening proceedings expected before Judge Carly Kearney. So they're still going to be doing jury selection, and then there should be opening statements from the defense and the prosecution side. Then a separate report published today also confirms the case is approaching trial. Now, I am not a legal person, I'm not an attorney or a lawyer. So if I say something wrong, please correct me, but only if you know what you're talking about, okay? So if you're new here, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm I'm going to be covering this trial not only because it's the trial of the century, and we've been waiting 30 years for this trial, this murder trial for Tupac Shakur, but I'm not getting paid to do it. I'm not asking to get paid to do it. I'm just sharing something that I am personally interested in. Okay? And everything that I get, all the information is that I'm getting, I'll be using like Las Vegas news 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 channels, social media, and also if I see anything from other social media or YouTubers that seems credible, I will share that. I will also share that. But I'm going to do my best to make sure everything that I say about this trial is based on facts, okay? So, so there are potentially a list containing nearly 200 names of potential witnesses. Doesn't mean that they will all testify, but there is an interest list of 200 people with Suge Knight, um, Oscar Goodman, who is a Nevada governor, Joe Lombard, Governor, wait a minute, Oscar Goodman, I'm sorry, Mayor Oscar Goodman of Nevada, and Governor Joe Lombardo, and a former LAPD detective, Greg Kading, all right, and many more. So now, as to whether or not it's going to be live streamed, so far we still don't know, but they should be able to tell whether or not that is going to happen tomorrow morning, and then there will be you'll be then also the information will be out there as to how to stream it and to watch it. My guess, th- my guess is that it'll be live streamed. I mean, they live streamed the trial against Dr. Murray for the Michael Jackson death, so why wouldn't they? So, um, so that's the. I just started. Almost done. 20. So let's see. Sorry for the interruption. So if you have been paying attention, Keefe D has been doing interviews. If you look on YouTube, you'll find some of his interviews from prison just in the past few days. I mean, this man cannot keep his mouth shut, can he? And I bet his lawyer is probably scratching his head and going nuts because he cannot control what Keefe D does. But he is just talking and talking and talking. And he should not be talking about the case at all. He should wait until the trial begins. And if they put him on the stand, then he can talk. But he did a jailhouse phone call recorded interview. Okay. So prosecutors are expected to use that at trial. And in the call, Davis reportedly acknowledges writing his memoir. When asked about it, potentially important because the defense has challenged the reliability of statements attributed to him in the book. The recording also reportedly discusses people connected to the case, including expected witness Devonta Dirt Rock Lee. Now, I don't know who that is. Prosecutors are expected to. Okay, prosecutors, yeah. They are expected to use the book and Keefe D interviews as evidence in the trial. Something I said earlier didn't sound right. My notes must be kind of off. Okay. So anything he says can be used against him in the court of law, including the new interviews he's doing. The trial remains set to begin Monday, August 10th in Las Vegas. Okay. And there is also movement on watching the trial. The Las Vegas Review Journal has now published a dedicated guide titled Tupac Murder Trial: How to Attend. Watch and follow the trial in Las Vegas, indicating remote viewing information is being organized for the proceedings. And Live Now from Fox also has a trial stream scheduled for Monday. So I have not yet found an official Clark County Court announcement identifying one exclusive official live stream. So I would not treat any single YouTube link as the court's official feed yet. But we should know more by tomorrow, hopefully. But the jail call evidence is the significant new development since the previous updates. Okay. And there's a newly published CNN report. It provides important details from a recent prosecution filing about how prosecutors plan to corroborate Dwayne Keefe D. Davis' memoir. And prosecutors reportedly acknowledged that the book does contain exaggerations, inaccuracies, and at least one major falsehood, but argued that substantial portions can be independently verified. So, one example disclosed in the filing, Davis wrote that he was wearing a particular Ray Luca crime story suit around the time of the shooting, and investigators subsequently located a Polaroid photograph of Davis wearing that suit. Prosecutors are using details like this to argue that his account is credible, even where other portions of the memoir are disputed. Now, in that telephone interview, he when the reporter is asking him about that picture, because he claims he was not in Vegas that day. So she asked, "Well, what about that photo of you wearing the wearing that suit and saying that it was taken in Vegas?" First of all, he said, "I did not write the book. I did not write the book. I did not write the book." And then he said that it was September when the murder happened. It's too hot in September in Vegas to be wearing that suit. So that's what he's saying. So all it takes, and is interesting, is like, so he's trying to say that Orlando was there by himself without anybody, that they weren't there, and Keefe D wasn't there. So if there is anybody that comes forward, like Mike Tyson, Mob James, that there are eyewitnesses that say they saw him and there's a photo of him, or if there's a photo of him with Orlando and Orlando is still wearing the same thing he had on at the casino, that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to, in honesty, I don't see how in the world that Keefe D is going to prove that he was lying. At this point, is Keefe D on trial against Keefe D? He's his own worst enemy. Um, there's also a significant witness clarification involving Suge Knight. He is listed on the prosecution's witness list, but he has previously said publicly that he will not testify. So his appearance should not be treated as confirmed merely because his name is on the witness list, okay? But I don't know. He may either want to stick with the street code or get out of jail. But it's like, if he takes a plea deal and testifies against Keefe D, and they'd be like, "Okay, Shug, thank you so much for your help. Um, you're gonna be out by the end of the month." That he do better staying in jail, in prison, because there's gonna be some Keefe D gang mem you know gang members that may be out to get revenge on Shug for snitching. So, in fact, it may be a lot of people that may be in danger for testifying against Keefe D. Okay, so, but to tell you the truth, they probably don't even need any those people to testify. They have enough evidence just based off of what Keefe D said himself. Um, so also, I heard something about the fact that Keefe D is eligible for bail. So at his final pretrial hearing last week, Judge Carly Curie indicated that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis could be released on bail before facing the jury. And local Las Vegas reporting specifically described the development as Davis being able to make bail as jury selection approaches. Now, that is significant because Davis has previously been denied release multiple times, including disputes over the source of money that will be used to secure his bond. So, the important distinction is he may now have a path to post bail, but there has been no reliable report that he has actually posted the required bond or been released from custody. So currently, he is still in custody while jury selection prepares to begin. Okay. Now, this was really odd to me. Like, what? If they let Keefe D out on bail, that man, he probably would rather die than to go back to court and face being put back in prison. If he, I know if it were me, I would run. You would not see me if I gotta if I gotta pow a couple of people in the process. I'm getting out of this country because he probably already know that it's not looking good. But I'm really stunned that at this point in the trial that the judge would even consider allowing him out on bail. But that's if he can pay to post the bond. Do you know how much the bond is? $750,000, over half a million. Good luck with that, Keefe D. Because I don't think he has the money. I don't think there's anybody who would pay the money for him to get out. Um, as of right now, I think his lawyer is representing him pro bono. So it is possible, in the general sense, that he would be a flight risk. And that's one of the things that the judge considers when deciding whether someone should be released on bail. But in this particular situation, fleeing would also be difficult because he is facing a very serious murder charge and has been under court supervision, and any release could come with conditions designed to reduce flight risk. So, but that's the the big thing right there is, will he be able to pay that bond? So, what do you think? Do you think that Keefe D should should and can make bail? And if so, do you think he intends to flee or to have his day in court? Is he planning to run? Do you think there's anybody that's going to pay that amount of money to bond him out? Inquiring minds want to know. But that's it. That's all I have for right now. I'm trying to save my voice. And I thank you so much for um, watching and giving me the chance to share the things I find out about the trial. So we should know more tomorrow. All right. Peace and love.